RevivalHouse.net and the Revival House Network present another shitty commentary. Today, we're going to be doing Halloween 2, and not that shitty Rob Zombie Halloween 2. Zach and I are going to do the good Halloween 2.
We're doing the original Halloween 2. It's a world with two Halloween 2s, a world we want to be a part of. That's what I'm saying.
What's funny is to a lot of people, saying good Halloween 2 doesn't make any sense for either movie, because a lot of people don't like this one too. I think it's somewhat divided. I love this movie. I think it's great.
I think a good 10 minutes could have been cut out of this movie easily.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, do you think that could be the same for the original Halloween 2 or no?
Maybe.
But anyway, this is actually pretty funny. This how we came to do this one tonight. I fucking called Zach, and first he wanted to do Big Bully. I thought that's what we were gonna do, but then he's like, "Hey, I got Hellraiser fucking Judgment. Is that what it's called? The new one?"
Yeah.
I got that in the box. I'm like, oh man, that'd be pretty relevant. I know a lot of people are talking about it, and I hear it's shitty. And he's like, I watched it. And I'm like, okay, well, can you stand to watch it again? And I'm like, I don't want to put you through torture if it's that bad.
I'm like,
Zach's always extremely passive. Zach's always like, he's willing to go with the flow, like whatever you want. But I can hear in his voice when he's defeated, when he really doesn't want to. And I was like, are you sure, man? He's like, it's whatever. And I'm like, well, all right. And then I start loading it all up, and then he finally fucking breaks for the first time and the first time since I've known him. I can't do it, man. He's like, I don't want to do Hellraiser Judgment, man. So it must be that bad, which is pretty funny. So I think we're going to try and do it eventually, like sooner than later, because it's one of those movies that if we don't do it sooner, we'll never do it. I mean, it's just going to like fall into obscurity. It's just kind of the thing to do right now. But he's like, I'm like, all right, well, let's do Big Bully, man. And this motherfucker, he's like, I feel like horror, though. I'm like, son of a bitch, Zach.
No,
all
I
right,
was like, Big Bully actually isn't done uploading into the box yet. Because I set it up to do that and then left, and my computer was on sleep mode, so it went to sleep. Right.
So then I was like, okay, well, let's do the other ones we have in the queue that we've been talking about doing. Let's do Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, or fucking a Cowboy Way. And he's like, which one of those do you want to do, Zach? He's like, I want to do horror. I'm like, man, okay. So what do we have in the box that's horror? We have Halloween 2. So we just kind of landed on it. There's no like real theme to this. It wasn't requested, but it's a fun movie, so we're going to do it. But I think all you guys out there, if you guys listen to this and you want to make us suffer through Hellraiser Judgment, and you want Zach to fucking suffer through it again, request it like crazy. I mean, I'm going to try and make it happen anyway, but you know.
It'll happen. I just didn't want to watch it so close to when I watched it.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. All right, well, we're gonna start a better movie anyway. So, are you ready to get going?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a DVD rip or what?
I think it's my Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. All right. So, do you know where it starts?
Right before the Universal logo.
All right. So we're gonna do that right before the Universal logo. If it's the Blu-ray, I mean, I guess you know what we're talking about. But we'll go ahead and do the 3, 2, 1 play count. 3, 2, 1 play.
Oh hell yeah! Look at that. Look, we're getting that Earth.
That Earth isn't flat enough.
Hashtag Earth's so flat.
Dude, it's so funny. I've been following Michael Bauer on Facebook and and Instagram and everything else. And I've been sharing.
You might want to explain who he is for people that don't know.
Oh, okay, because that's gonna be everybody. Good point. Okay, so Michael Bauer played Donkey Lips on Salute Your Shorts. And if you guys have followed our channel extensively, you know we did a commentary for the Zeke the Plumber episode of that. Or if you're our age, you're most likely going to know who he is. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this is one batshit crazy motherfucker. So he seems nice as all get out and fine. But I follow him I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I follow him on Instagram and things like that just for the shit he says. And I know he's always been about like the chemtrails and Illuminati and all that shit, but he has gone on and on and on about the fucking flat Earth theory. And then of course, there's people in his comment sections that can't even fucking kiss his ass anymore at that point. Like, hey man, I think you're great and all, but this is fake, right? And he was getting so defensive, and like to the point where he's like blocking people, and he's making posts like calling out people and stuff. Like, it's my opinion, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, it's kind of batshit crazy. What do you expect? You can't post that bullshit and not expect people to...
We're in the year 2018 and there's a flat Earth theory.
And I'm not too brushed up on the theory myself, but he was actually like talking about it. He was kind of going over it. And I guess in a nutshell, he's saying the flat earth theory, everybody's like, well, if the earth was flat, well, then I would fall off the end. Why isn't my fat ass falling off the end of it? He's like, well, the thing is, it's not. You can't fall off the end of it. It's the rules, what it is the rules kind of still apply. And what it is the earth keeps going on past Antarctica. And Antarctica, it's like none of us know about it because the government controls it. Like it's this big area of land that all the government is sort of in on together.
So he's basically saying there is an edge of the earth. We just never saw it.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. But yeah, he's saying that the earth continues to go past Antarctica, and that for some reason in a world where none of our countries can get along and agree on any one thing, all the countries and governments of the world agree about this one secret area past Antarctica.
Now what the fuck's the point of lying about the earth being flat? Who cares?
Exactly, man. And that's why I've listened to tons of podcasts that go over that. And it's like, yeah, there's no reason. If the thing is if the earth was really flat, there would be some scientists by now that would be touting it, right? Because there's nothing to gain. There's nothing to gain or lose from it. And there would be some scientists making a shit ton of money off of it. Mm-hmm. It's the dumbest asinine thing I've ever heard.
They're like, no, every picture from NASA is like fake. And it's like, well, yeah, because they have to. Like, it's pretty much like the same technology that with panorama on your phone. They take a bunch of little pictures and then they put them together.
Oh, yeah.
Because the fucking telescope isn't far enough out to get the whole Earth in one shot.
It's so stupid, man. He's crazy. But I don't know, man. The thing is, and he just says some weird shit on his social media. He just says some weird shit and asks some weird questions and creates some weird dialogues. And I don't remember him being an Illuminati until 2 years ago. He's weird. But he posted like something where he was asking about all his friends on his Facebook's first time having sex and describe it. I'm like, this is kind of weird. And then of course, somebody commented, a girl commented that my first time was weird because I didn't bleed, and I thought I was weird because, all my friends said you had to bleed and all this stuff. And then he comments the most weird, awkward, like socially inept things. Like, what? He goes, oh, it's like, I feel you, girl. He's like, I personally don't mind a little stank juice. I think it's good. I'm like, what the fuck? Something like that. And I'm like, ugh. He's one of those guys, like, and I've watched him on, when they do... On YouTube, they have like the reunions and stuff, and they're like recording it and shit for the Salute Your Shorts reunions. Mm-hmm. And he's clearly the only guy. Do you guys like how we're talking about this, by the way, and this movie started? But anyway, I have to finish it. So this guy, he's clearly the only one that's really into it.
Yeah.
Like everybody else is kind of there for like maybe a paycheck or something or whatever. I mean, they don't all act like they really want to be there.
They all have other lives. No.
But he is fucking to the core, man. Salute Your Short. He's in everybody's face all the time. He's super loud and obnoxious, and you can see it in everybody's eyes that they're annoyed as fuck at him. Like you could tell, like on set they didn't like him, right? He seems like that friend. He seems like that kid in high school that you don't want to hang out with because he's annoying as fuck. And I mean, the thing is I love Salute Your Shorts and I love the Donkey Lips character, but even me, dude, I look at his like feed on a daily basis, and I'm like, man, in real life I wouldn't like you. You would be so annoying. It's so funny. And the thing is, we could totally get him on the podcast. We could totally get him on the podcast.
We should just try to get some of the craziest theories out of him. We can.
He's so pro that stuff. He likes to get out there. He'll do podcasts. Absolutely. 100%. I guarantee you we can get him.
So what do you think about Sandy Hook? You think it was fake?
Oh my gosh. It's just... Anyway, he's a nutbag. And I think they should have got Michael Bauer to play Michael Myers. Big old Michael Bauer. He kind of like, remember in the episode of Salute Your Shorts where he was like parroting Deep Throat?
Oh,
He was in a silhouette in the window. You just saw his shadow, but it was clearly fucking Donkey Lips. And he's got that lisp. He's like, just call me Deep Throat. And she's like, thanks, Donkey Lips. How'd you know it's me? It's actually pretty funny. Anyway, here we go. I had a reason for talking about something totally bullshit like that because all we did was talk over the recap.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And most of the credits. The slow zoom into the pumpkin.
Which is really cool. I fucking love this, man.
How long do you think it took to shoot this?
Do you think it was a time-lapse thing?
Who knows? Slow-mo? Yeah.
It had to. Maybe. I don't know. But it looks fucking awesome. And
Actually,
so
the lights go off as it gets closer. Maybe not. There's probably two people pulling it apart or something.
maybe. But obviously the recap was Dr. Loomis shot his ass out the window. He fell, and he was gone. That's
He
pretty
shot
much
him
it.
6 times. He
6
shot him
times?
hard.
See, I love this movie. Now, I get it. It's not the first one. The first one was what it was. This one was a response to the popularity of Friday the 13th, which came out, what, 2 years after the first Halloween?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so Halloween came out in, what, 78? Friday the 13th, I believe, came out in 80, something like that. And this movie came out in 81, and it was a direct response to the sudden surge in Jason and the way he was killing people. So in this movie, it's got all the Friday the 13th kills. Every kill's kind of over the top, very different. Everyone has to be very unique, and it's very slasher-esque. Mm-hmm. So, which is great. It's kind of funny. I think it works for the series.
We missed the Rick Rosenthal directed by credit. You know?
Oh, the guy who did the shitty one too.
He went on to do Resurrection. Who would have thought? Did you ever count the amount of times Loomis shoots Michael? Because it's not 6.
No.
Yeah, he says, I got shot 6 times. He didn't.
There's no way it's 6. Probably like 3.
Yeah, there's it's like 3 or 4 or something like that.
So, I don't know. I think it's a really good sequel. I like, Rosenthal, man. He just proves my personal theory is that like directors don't make good movies necessarily. It's not the director.
Let's see what else he made. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm sure he makes great films.
Well, it's like I always say, I think the original. What
about Stanley Kubrick?
So there's certain people and certain directors that have pretty good streaks. Like Tarantino's one of them, you know? He's somebody that has a pretty solid streak. I'm not saying all his movies are amazing, but most of them are pretty solid. Maybe that has to do with him only doing like 9 or 10 movies across his career and he's not spreading himself too thin. I'm not sure. But I always talk about the original Alien being one of the greatest movies, maybe my favorite movie of all time. And it's not because
we haven't done it.
I know we got to do it. It's but I'm saying like I love that movie, and so you might assume that Ridley Scott's like my favorite director. I'm like, look, no, I mean I think that's the greatest movie, but it's because of a lot of different factors, not just Ridley Scott. It's like a right place, right time, perfect storm. It's because of Ridley Scott. It's because of Dan O'Bannon. It's because of the film score. It's the cinematography. Everything about that movie's perfect. The characters. Everything about it. Because Ridley Scott's went on to make shit movies too. He's made great movies. He's made awful movies. I love this opening scene though, man. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why people hate this movie because of the added canon with the whole their siblings thing.
I don't know. Maybe just because it's in one area. Who knows?
But that's so awesome though, man. Like I love how it's not too many movies do this where they just like continue off from the first one.
Oh, Rick Rosenthal made Bad Boys.
With Sean Penn?
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's a great movie.
That's all I'm really recognizing.
You should put Bad Boys in the box, man. I will fucking do that. I love that movie. That was one of the first DVDs I bought too when we got a DVD player. Like when they first came out.
Oh, I recently I was cleaning my freaking like a room, and I came across a stack of some of the first DVDs I ever bought.
How do you not see this motherfucker? Sorry,
they're embarrassing as fuck. You want to know what they are?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, sure. Tell us. I'm sorry, really quick. Would you see Michael Myers or not? Look at her.
I don't know. He's pretty dark. It's pretty dark out. Give her a break.
All right. So go ahead.
All right.
Tell me what were the first movies?
Keep in mind, this is when the DVD
Biodome
kind of first came out. There wasn't like a bunch of horror movies being put out yet. So Big Mama's House.
Mm. Okay.
Meet the Parents.
Okay.
The Watcher.
Oh, wow.
You ever see that movie? With the Reeves?
That? No.
It's fucking awful.
No. Okay, so what else? Is that it?
Yeah, that's the first.
I'll tell you ours. I'll never forget when my mom and dad brought home a DVD player, and it was probably in 2001, maybe 2000, maybe 2002 actually. I think 2002 is probably more like it. But yeah, it's like you didn't have all the movies in the world out in DVD, so you kind of like you couldn't pick and choose.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom came home with the Godfather box set, which they were huge Godfather fans.
I've only seen the first two.
You're good. You're good. Trust me. That's fine. Third one's not very good. And I think they bought Scarface, which these did not suit me. I'm like, great, these fucking, because they had these on VHS and they wore them out all the time.
Scarface is good. That's a fucking.
But I got so burnt out on it, man. Like when your parents drive you crazy and they spin something nonstop. My mom would, on her off days, would have Al Pacino days, and she would binge watch all three Godfathers and fucking Scarface. And it happened all the time.
Scarface is pretty sleazy.
It is. And then I'm trying to think, they also bought, fucking get this, Crocodile Dundee 3 in Los Angeles.
What? There's a part 3?
I know, that movie is forgotten about. It is an obscurity. It's never on TV. It is never streaming, but the movie was pretty new. The movie came out around 2000, 2001. So it was like one of the first.
I guess I do remember that. Yeah.
It was one of the first movies that when it came out, it was like actually on DVD originally. And it had one of the shitty cardboard cases. I think they all did. Mm-hmm. They all had like shitty cardboard. But
I hate those fucking cases. I only have one DVD still that has it. It's Big Bully.
I had Big Bully, Mars Attacks.
I guess I have the original Nightmare on Elm Street box set.
Oh yeah, those two. And then I have I think I have Mr. Nice Guy, fucking Jackie Chan, it was cardboard. I had a few of them, but anyway, so there was that movie, which like that movie, it's a bad dumb movie, but I'd like to watch it again. I've been wanting to watch it for nostalgic purposes, but you can't find it anywhere. Like we'd have to download it. Like that'd be a fun one for you to download and throw in the box. It is fucking obscure as shit. History has forgotten about it. It is the weirdest thing.
What was it again?
Yeah, I see. Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles.
I don't remember liking the first two.
Well, regardless, the third one is so stupid. The third one's like a comedy your grandma would like. It's like Big Bully.
Big Bully's great.
It is, but it's just like kind of a clean cut comedy. And Mike Tyson has a really shitty cameo in it. And he's a horrible actor.
You remember the Flipper movie that had
Paul Hogan?
Dundee? Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And Frodo.
Yeah, I remember.
I saw that in the theater, and when it showed the hammerhead shark, I got freaked out.
Okay. So, seriously, I'm going to try and make a list here. What have we said now? We said Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. What's the other movies we brought up to get in the box? I'm serious.
I don't remember. We'll have to listen to it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to at least jot down Crocodile. See, everybody keeps making requests, and we need to write them down as we talk about them because we just forget. As soon as we fucking vomit them out, they're done.
When I'm editing the episodes and I hear it, I usually get them and put them in there.
Okay. This scene's badass. I like this whole because this whole kid with the razor blade in his mouth. This was cut out of TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And because it was a big thing at the time, in like the news and whatnot, and it scared people. But originally that idea was going to be the concept for the real Halloween 2, like another movie, like an anthology.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they wanted Halloween to just be just like Halloween Season of the Witch. They wanted to have a new story every installment. They wanted to have part 2 be a completely different installment too, and it was going to be the story about this guy that was doing the whole fucking razor blades and candy.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah. And but studio pressure. It's like fucking Halloween is so popular. It's like Michael Myers is popular, and Jason Voorhees has come out since then. He's so popular, we got to bring Michael back. And so, under the pressure, they made this.
And then when they did, part 4 was shitty.
No, exactly. So,
I mean, I like that movie, but it's just
they
could have never made those, and it wouldn't be any different.
No, it'd been totally fine.
But you know what's funny is, as a kid, I never got that he bit into a razor blade like apple or something. Yeah. I always thought maybe off camera he ran into Michael and Michael just like hit him in the face or something.
Well, it's a product of the times. Like we weren't around when this came out, but it's more of a social commentary because at the time it was all over the fucking news. Everybody
was that ever a real thing, or was it always just an urban legend?
I don't know. That I don't know. But I mean, it was legit. They would have the thing where bring your bags of candy into the police station and we'll all check your candy for free. And it was awareness My question is, why would you fucking eat any candy that looks like it's been tampered with in the wrapper?
Yeah.
I mean, to get a razor blade like that in like a candy bar, I think you would notice. I don't know. Or I guess you won't. If you're a kid that's just kind of like tearing into your candy, not paying attention, you might not notice like a slit in the fucking bag. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? So,
did you ever notice her awful wig in this movie?
No, it's a wig.
That's what everybody always brings up, but I never noticed it until people brought it up.
Why is she wearing a wig? What was she filming at the time?
I guess maybe her hair was shorter at the time, and this is supposed to take place the same night.
Same night, which is a trip, man. It's a trip when you really think about that. All these events happen in the same night, man.
Mm-hmm. Because by this time, there's no way people would still be trick or treating.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and just also, it's weird because it feels like watching it as a sequel. It's like, man, she's been dealing with this for so long. Like, not really. Michael Myers literally just attacked her house like an hour before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was just kind of being stalked, right? She never really saw him.
Yeah.
It's just like she was babysitting literally an hour before this, and then Michael fucking went into the house and did all his shit. Now she's right in the hospital. So really, most of her trauma probably comes from part 2.
Mm-hmm.
The whole hospital shit.
It's weird that they have her drugged up because she's pretty catatonic through the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's interesting. What do you I think the hospital setting's awesome though. I think it's amazing.
I think it works, yeah.
It's incredible. It's really cool. It's creepy. It's the emptiest fucking most barren hospital in existence. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why is the hospital dark and why is there nobody else in this hospital? No other patients.
It's a small town. Haddonfield's crazy though. They celebrate Halloween all night.
Greatest scene in the history. This scene represents and sums up Halloween 2 in a nutshell in its fucking wackiness.
How come does he think Michael dyed his hair?
It's so dumb. How come Michael Myers isn't reacting? How come he's walking? He's like trying to...
Ben Tramer's a dipshit.
But look, this is stupid. He's not even... Because it's almost like he's in on it. Like, I gotta keep fooling the audience into thinking I'm really Michael, maybe.
And what the heck was that cop?
The cop comes out of nowhere. He's speeding 80 miles down an hour out of the neighborhood.
He's getting ready to say he came out of nowhere. Like he just materialized in the road. No, he walked very slowly.
He was wearing a fucking white mask. Yeah. He's not that dark. And look, they have no regard for the fucking poor kid that's dead. They're just watching him burn. Look at this. He's more concerned with...
He died instantly almost, too.
I would imagine, but like that... when I watched this movie on Blu-ray, I love to pause it at that part when he gets in on impact.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see it. Look.
Mom's Annie.
I know, it's Annie. They forgot about him so fast. Like, what about that poor kid that is fucking burning alive right there?
Maybe they still think maybe it's Michael, so they don't care.
It's so ridiculous. No one's trying to put him out. No one's trying to move the fucking car. You could back the car up. I mean, I get it, it's on fire.
Yeah, the guy just got out of the car and left him there.
Like a pussy. Like, oh my God. What I want to know is, was that officer charged for going about 80 miles an hour in a fucking neighborhood?
Negligent. It was
out of nowhere. Time. It was very staged.
Could have been a little kid walking across the street.
That's what I'm saying. It's trick or treat time. This guy's going a million miles an hour in a neighborhood street. What a fucking moron. And how come he's not liable? Why weren't they questioning him? He just kind of disappeared. He got out of the car and he's gone.
Only in movie land.
And then, I'm sorry, but Donald Pleasance doesn't show any fucking remorse for this. When they find out it's not him, when they check the dental records, it's funny. He doesn't give a fuck.
Because he's a man on a mission. He's got tunnel vision.
He is. No, exactly. I think it represents his character really well. But it's so funny, man, when they show that, hey, the dental records is not him. All he does is like go straight back to his mission. Like,
he's just like, well, he didn't answer us. He's deserved it. What was he doing out so late? Wearing that mask. He's probably another killer.
It's it's bullshit, man. This guy looks like motherfucking Greg Brady from the movies, the Brady Bunch movies.
Yeah. Did you know that I guess Ben Tramer was a school hood like friend of John Carpenter?
No, I didn't know that.
And I guess the real Ben Tramer went on to write episodes of Saved by the Bell.
Interesting.
I read that earlier.
I guess everybody needs a fucking paycheck, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta keep that portfolio padded with work.
He's like, I was the name of the guy in Halloween.
It'd be kind of fun if you were a writer. I'd use a pen name, but if like you got a job writing an episode for Saved by the Bell, like okay, like just as a personal like assignment, like I have to tap into how a Saved by the Bell episode's written. Let me write a Saved by the Bell episode and how dumb it is. What movie is this fucking guy in again? This older guy? I know it's on the tip of my tongue.
There's Dana Carvey in the blue hat. Dana Carvey, that's his first.
What?
Yeah, it's a little cameo.
I didn't know that.
First movie role.
Dude, am I gonna see his face?
I don't think. I think maybe he looks.
Oh, it's him.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good close-up. Holy shit.
I think he's uncredited, though.
I imagine. I've never known that. Where did you find that out?
For years, people have been talking about that.
I've never known that.
It's because you're a noob. You ain't seen this movie.
This might be the first one I ever watched, actually. I can't remember if I saw this one or the first one first, but I've been watching this movie since I was about 3 years old. This is one of my earliest film memories, Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Just the scenes where he's creeping the hospital, when he uses a scalpel on that one dude, when he puts the syringe in the one guy's temple, the hot tub scene. These are my earliest film
remember
memories.
like Walmart back during the Halloween time, like, I don't know, maybe 2001 or 99 something. They used to like always sell these like tapes of Halloween. I remember Halloween 2, like, and it was weird because you rent them and take them home and you realize like, this doesn't look like it's long enough to have the full movie. And they recorded it in like EP mode.
Are you talking about the actual tape, the length of the tape?
Yeah, they recorded it in like LP or EP, whatever, so that it was like, it ran slower and it made the quality not as good.
Yeah, that's nothing I ever really noticed when I was a kid.
I always noticed shit like that.
This guy looks like fucking Harry Dunn.
Yeah.
This guy should have been Jeff Daniels.
I think Dana Carvey actually made another appearance in the original ending or something. I think maybe he's happens to be there when they wheel her out or something.
All right, Lloyd, just calm down.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, what's funny is the new Halloween that's coming out, which, by the way, we don't know what it's fucking called. They just keep calling it Halloween. Do you think they're really going to stick with the title Halloween?
I don't know.
Now, so originally, this new Halloween movie's been like development off and on. Different versions have been scrapped over the past, what, fucking 5-6 years,
Yeah,
I think.
Remember the Halloween Returns or whatever? Where
that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was about this guy. It was about this fucking guy.
Oh,
right?
Was it?
Yeah, so I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Halloween Returns, it picked up right after the events of this movie. It was
Halloween Returns was like where he's in prison and they're taking him to be killed, and like 2 kids sneak in to watch him get killed, and he gets out.
I don't know. I just knew the last time I had read a script on it was, look at this guy. Isn't he going to be like? Oh, never mind. I was going to have shit on his radio, but yeah, it was supposed to focus on that guy, the cop. The night, like right after this movie, he was going to be like the main character. But I was kind of down with the idea. It kind of sounded interesting to me. It was going to be a period. It was going to be a period piece, because it was. We don't get too many period pieces these days.
I think it'd be great to just make like another, Friday the 13th and set it in the 80s and have 80s hair and shit on the chicks.
It would be fun. I don't know why everything's got to be modern these days.
But, this is the nurse we see later with the fucking titties, baby.
Big old honkers, I know. And then they even had the soundtrack. The soundtrack's on Spotify. You can check out the Halloween Returns soundtrack, and it's kind of like remixed of the original shit. It's weird.
It's all re-recorded, but yeah, it's like different like sounds, not the same like kind of keyboards.
That's how close the movie came, which is weird too, because I guess only in a situation where you're just going to remake the music can you make the soundtrack before the movie's filmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you can go ahead and do the soundtrack now. We're just going to like remake all the old tracks, so it's okay. You don't have to wait for the movie.
It was actually only like 3 tracks, if I remember right.
Because I mean, it's just a couple of songs. It's this one, the actual pursuit music, and there's the looming down looming music. And then there's like the sound cues where he shows up, like you just heard. Bow.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. I don't know.
He's just walking around in the open.
Yeah, I mean, they don't haven't they questioned Laurie? They don't want to question what he looks like, or what they don't have an idea of. Yeah, obviously they did. Loomis shot a motherfucker in the road.
It's fucking like William Shatner wearing whiteface.
Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't realize. I thought this mask was a different one than the first one because to me they looked fucking way different. Like he's got more of that pug nose and it just looks beat to shit. It wasn't until the last few years that I learned that it's actually the same mask and it was just legit beat to shit and they had to get it out of storage.
Yeah, I guess it turned yellow because what's her name? That
pissed on it.
What's her name? That like
Deborah Hill.
Deborah Hill. It was in her house, and like it turned yellow from like all the years of smoking.
It was only a couple of years.
It was like at least 5 years later.
No, it's not. This is 81, bro. 3.
Oh, okay.
Halloween came out in 78. This one's 81. So, I mean, it's probably a couple years that went by.
78, though, but it was being shopped around for a while.
Maybe, but still.
Because remember, anyway, there was all that time that he was taking it to different places without the music. And they were like, this ain't scary.
But, oh, yeah, is that what it was? Is that what happened? It's like, and then he added the music, and that was the clicker?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Was he smoking a joint in the hospital?
With, like, clamps? That's funny.
How the fuck that gonna happen? See, this is one of the scenes I remember could be cut. His whole, like... Did you see that? Like, whenever it cut to this, you could see, like, whenever you record on a tape, when you first start, it has that little color thing.
Uh-huh.
So you could tell they just filmed this onto a tape and played the tape.
Oh, that's a good catch. Never noticed it.
I always notice shit like that.
Yeah, you're crazy. You were more into, like, film shit, though, from a younger age.
Yeah, that was my first... That's what I wanted to do, was make movies when I was a kid.
When did you... How old were you? Like, how old were you when you watched this first?
I knew about all these movies by the time I was, like, 5 years old.
Yeah, and you were still noticing shit like that when you were 5?
Probably not when I first saw it, no.
Okay. It's like... these are my earliest, like when I was 3 years old, where my memories are kind of blotchy. I don't remember everything, selective memory. This is one of the movies, man. I remember this movie. I remember probably a hodgepodge. I want to say probably like Nightmare on Elm Street 4 or something like that is in there. Mm-hmm. And maybe even the first Child's Play movie. But yeah.
Oh, I just thought too that the Monster Vision like parts are on YouTube for this movie. So every time I find those, I want to like make a fan edit and put those in the movie.
Oh, it's awesome.
I did that with like the first like 5 Friday the 13th movies.
I wonder if we'd get in trouble if we no, we probably wouldn't. Like on the podcast version of this, we use a Joe Bob intro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, or some Joe Bob action. What's the deal? He's trying to get Monster Vision back on Shudder.
Yeah, but they want to make sure there's fan interest. So anybody that hears this and doesn't know that, like, check out Joe Bob on his Facebook. He'll tell you where to send your videos. The AVGN made one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, Shudder's only $5 a month. I would definitely get it again just to check out.
It's a good deal.
Well, I mean, I got it for 1 month and I watched everything that I wanted to. And then I don't know how often they update it. And I literally, I ditched it after that because I watched everything. I was like, okay. It's just not one of those things that I would imagine keeping every month. There's no reason. Like, it's just one of those things I would like take off and add when I feel like there's something on, there's stuff on there I want to watch.
The whole series of Tales from the Dark Side's on there.
How long's that been on there?
A couple months.
Is Tales from the Crypt on there too?
I don't think so.
See, I've been watching Tales from the Crypt because there's a lot of the seasons on YouTube, and I watched the entire series of Tales from the Dark Side maybe like 3-4 years ago, so it's pretty fresh in mind. And that was the first time in quite a few years I'd watched that, and it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, but I've been watching Tales from the Crypt, binging it too as an adult now, and I can honestly say Tales from the Crypt I think is better.
Yeah, they got away with a lot more on there because it was on HBO and stuff.
Yeah, it really did. It's just I just think it's overall better, and it has nothing to do with like.
That'd be great if HBO revived it.
Well, remember TNT revived it without the Crypt Keeper? They were going to, at least, and maybe it never happened.
I think the Crypt Keeper was going to be in it, wasn't he?
Cut all that shit. It was going to be Tales from the Crypt revived reboot on TNT, but no Crypt Keeper.
And it was going to be M. Night Shyamalan.
Maybe. That sounds shitty.
Not having the Crypt Keeper would have been a big mistake.
Yeah, dude, it's so entertaining. Like, I never noticed it when those are some of my earliest memories too. The Crypt Keeper, when I was like 3 years old.
He's awesome.
He was scary as a kid.
Remember when he showed up in the fucking Casper movie?
Yeah, in the mirror. No, it was right. It was right after Mel Gibson. Oh.
Yeah,
but it's so funny. He was very scary to me as like a toddler. He's very, and now I'm watching as an adult. I'm like, this fucker was scary. He just does nothing but tell dad jokes.
Yeah,
you know. But it's so funny because I didn't notice it at the time. It wasn't very often that I could watch it because we never had HBO, so it was kind of rare when I'd see an episode of that. But I always loved it. I was super attracted to it.
I got you know how when you go to restaurants, they'll have those little cardboard stand-ups that have like an advertisement. I got one like from years ago of the Crypt Keeper for Budweiser. And he's holding like beers. It's like sitting on my desk here.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You should take a picture of it.
All right.
Take a high quality picture of it. Maybe you can put it in the thumbnail. I kind of want to see it though. But anyway, now watching it as an adult, and now I'm able to binge watch it, which I was never able to do. I just notice every episode, like with the Crypt Keeper, it's just sillier and sillier. Like there's something scary about this guy. It's funny. It's highly entertaining. It's I look forward to it every episode, seeing what he's doing. And I'm not saying that the celebrities help the stories at all, but the celebrities are kind of cool and they do help. Like it's fun when you watch an episode of Tales from the Crypt. It's like, oh, it's that guy. Oh, it's that character actor.
They had celebrity directors too. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Which one did he do?
The one where he makes the cameo in the beginning with the old guy.
I haven't gotten there yet. I'm literally the ones on YouTube that I found are like seasons 4, 5, and 6. So I don't know.
It's like season 2.
Yeah, so I don't know, but no, but it's a real trip to see because the thing is it has a lot of like character actors that like everybody knows in it, but then every now and again they pull out like a real A-lister. They had Joe Pesci, Joe Pesci in one, and of course Brad Pitt when he was just kind of like starting out, blowing up. And
so the later seasons are the ones people think are the not so good ones.
I would imagine. Well, you might be right. That's what's on YouTube, so it's like it's all I can watch. But how many seasons did it go into?
I think 8.
Okay, so I haven't touched 7. I've just been going. It's mainly 5 and 6, and I've been enjoying them. Maybe it gets to shit around 7 and 8.
Maybe it went to 7. Maybe.
But all I know is like there's an episode like Death of Some Salesman, the one with Tim Curry playing the 3 different roles. Like that's a good fucking. That's a lot of fun, man. There's the episode with John Stamos, for fuck's sake. Maybe I need to watch the first few years. Is it one of those things where the first couple of years when it was newer, there wasn't so much celebrity clout, kind of like The Simpsons, and then when The Simpsons blew up, starting with season 3 and they started getting.
Arnold was in season 2.
But I mean, besides, because he was a producer, wasn't he?
He directed it, and he was in he was with the Crypt Keeper in the opening and the end.
Remember when William Sadler played Death with the Crypt Keeper?
Oh yeah.
It was literally, they didn't acknowledge the Bill and Ted connection, but he just played the same Death. And he was in the episode too with Corey Feldman. It's really weird. Which, by the way, fun segment. They announced that William Sadler is going to be in Bill and Ted Face the Music, Death. Which is good. I mean, if the movie actually fucking gets made, because how could you like introduce Death and then go back and not have Death? You got to have him. He's amazing.
So maybe Death is in their band too. They show at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Dude, I don't like the title, Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
That sounds like a working title.
Well, they announced it like it had a real title. Like, okay, Bill and Ted 3 has a title. You'd think Bill and Ted 3 is the working title.
Yeah.
I thought that's what the title always was. And they made an announcement like it officially has a title, and they unveiled it. So
they need to make it like the other two. Like,
I know you thought it would be. I mean, honestly, it sounds predictable, but I wouldn't have cared. I just knew it was going to be Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return or Bill and Ted's Triumphant Return or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes sense. You got bogus, you got excellent, triumphant. You know, you go through all their words, and it makes total sense.
We need to do those movies because, like, I remember like discovering those movies and being really into them.
Yeah, I watched them recently. I watched them a couple weeks ago, both of them again. Yeah, I'd love to do them. They're fun movies. I like this. It's one of those scenarios where the second one's better than the first one.
I think I like it too better.
Yeah, they're both very good, but the second one has the slight edge. I think the second one it's zanier, it's sillier, it's funnier.
They went overboard with it.
They top themselves. They really in every area, and it's amazing. So, not to mention they added a key secondary player like fucking Death, which is
the original title for that one was Bill and Ted Go to Hell, so it wasn't like the first movie's title either.
Yeah, so hopefully it does change.
It's actually cool if you see some of the like deleted scenes, like they don't really exist, but they have screenshots of like things that were going to happen in hell but got cut out.
Oh yeah, like what do they omit?
There's a bunch of stuff. It's pretty cool.
There was I watched them in HD and stuff like that, so it's like I don't think I've ever watched those movies in HD on my 4K, and it's like when they die and you see Ted's makeup, you can see where his makeup starts on his face, where he's got the blue face.
Oh yeah,
it's like caked on the sides. It literally looks like a makeup job. It looks so fucking shitty, and you can see where they didn't put the makeup like too close to his eyes. It just looks bad. It's funny though. It looks great. That's a movie. Who cares, man? I mean, the campier it is, the better.
Yeah.
If I die, you can have my Megadeth collection. Dude, we're already dead. Oh, it's yours, dude.
It's yours.
Thanks, dude.
We really need to do Freaked also.
Never watched it.
That also has fucking
Alex Winter.
The Reeves doing like like I didn't even know it was him until like years later. He's playing the dog boy. He's like covered in hair and shit.
Oh, I did read about that. I've never seen it, but I've read that. It's a little tidbit.
It's one of those movies. It's kind of like it's one of those movies where like there's too many jokes coming at you. Like they needed to like cut it. Like sometimes there's just too many like gags and jokes. Like the Naked Gun movies are kind of like that for me.
Well, that's kind of fits the genre of the Naked Gun movies, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
you expect it.
But Freaked is fun. It's on YouTube also.
Is it? I'll have to check it out sometime. This motherfucker looks like Professor Kingbean from the Richie Rich movie.
Yeah, this is the scene I always think of. Like this could just be cut out completely.
I agree. I'll agree to that. There's a lot of movies that I think are really good movies that, I don't let the fact that maybe 10 minutes can be shaved off of them, like, hurt my love for them. But, yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what their deal is. Do you think when it comes down to the editing process and they have, like, a scene like this where it's like, why did they leave this here? Do you think it comes down to padding? Like, well, now if we take this last scene out, we're going to be under time.
Well, it's always built to work the first time because it's like, when's it going to pop out? And it's keeping people on the edge of their seat. But then once you see it once, it's like, this doesn't need to be there.
That was a total Jason kill. But it also works like that too. Like you have to be a feature, you have to be so long. And I think if they cut too much fat, I think you are left with just a little bit. It's like, well, in a perfect world, we would cut this out too. But then we'll be under like fucking 80 minutes. We can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, man. No remorse about this.
He's stone cold. He's a stone cold killer.
Dude, they let this guy get fucking barbecued before they put him out. Like, how long was he fucking crisping and rotisserie? I mean, was he burning all night? He looks like the fucking burnt man on Beetlejuice, the smoking guy. We gotta do Beetlejuice, man. I fucking love Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
That's back when Tim Burton was a fucking dangerous and awesome director, man. What happened? He sold out.
I think that's on Vudu.
Yeah, we have it on Vudu.
Uh-huh.
Guy looks like Charles Grodin. They should got Charles Grodin to play him. So we got Harry Dunn, we got Jeff Daniels, we got Charles Grodin. You know what bugs me about Vudu? So let's say you buy a movie, a Blu-ray, and it's an unrated edition, right? Comes with the unrated and the director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
If you type in the code on Vudu, and let's say both of them come up, the unrated version, the one you have, unrated plus director's cut, it'll also have just the regular theatrical cut. If you redeem it, if you click the wrong one, it'll redeem it for the theatrical and you're fucked out of the one you bought. And also, sometimes it's unreliable, man. I accidentally did that with a movie. It's not the biggest deal, I guess, because it's not a great movie, but that Office Christmas Party movie, I put it in Vudu and I searched it, and the only one that came up was the theatrical. I'm like, oh, they must not have this was the only one. And I just hit the button, and then I went back after I redeemed it and I looked through it, and there was the one I bought, and it didn't come up when I pushed to redeem, and so it fucked me out of my code. And I emailed them, and they're like, yeah, sorry, no fucking luck. They're just like, yeah, it was all this work. I'm like, hey, look, this happened. I clearly have the movie. Can you guys fucking just give me a code for the other one? It's got the same, like, literally, the one I bought and I sent has the fucking director's cut too. It's like, I'm not trying to cheat you guys out of another movie. It's the fucking same one, but I want the one I paid for. And they're like, okay, well, send us a picture of the fucking movie and all this stuff. And I did. I sent it and I emailed it and I had the whole thing like, send a copy of the receipt for proof of purchase. I'm like, dude, I bought this at Walmart like fucking a month ago. I don't have this receipt. Like, it was a receipt that had like $100 worth of groceries on it too, and I just found a movie for $6. So like, I don't have this fucking thing.
Yeah, they need to fix that. I never had that problem though.
Yeah, it's ghetto. It's horrible. Well, no, and I've had that problem. I've had problems where, when you sync your Ultraviolet account because they merged, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Like, if you redeem shit on Ultraviolet, it doesn't pull over to Vudu, even though it should, because it's supposed to consolidate them. So you have to like, and I've made that mistake where I redeemed on Ultraviolet first because the movies say Ultraviolet, and I should have did it on Vudu because they never pulled over to my Vudu. So I have like weird movies that are only on Ultraviolet that never pulled over. It's fucking broken, and it pisses me off. They did tell me, they're like, well, what you probably have to do, if anything, it's like just contact the film distributor and let them know. I'm like, that's a lot of work for not that big of a deal. I was just thought I can get this resolved in like a second. I was like, geez.
He had a stupid mask on.
Cool mask.
That just happened for us to know who it was that got killed. Just to bring a character from the first one.
So dumb, man. I think, what is your opinion? I get it, Dr. Loomis. Like exactly what you said. He's a man on a mission, and he's almost kind of going crazy. He's obsessed with this guy. And I think this movie shows it better than the first one. But I don't know, man. Like, he's almost kind of an asshole too. It's like what is he trying to protect? He's trying to prevent this guy that's pure evil from hurting people, I'm assuming, but yet he doesn't give a fuck that he killed a fucking kid in the street. He doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to, he's got his mission. That's all he cares about. It's almost like he's forgetting the motives behind the mission. Yeah, right?
It's almost like he's bringing just as much death as fucking
That's what
Michael
I'm saying.
himself.
Like, you want Michael off the streets. Why though? My question is, has he forgotten the reason why he wants him off the streets? Because he's letting people fucking die along the way.
It's probably just John Carpenter forgot by the time he wrote this one.
It's like, does he want to protect Lori? I'm like, man, why do you care so much more about Lori than you do these fuckers? You're like these B characters, these basically as extras in the movie. Like, he's just an extra. Kill him.
Did you ever see the TV cut of the original movie?
I did. I think it's on the Shout Factory version, right? They have it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the scenes they added kind of make Loomis look even like a dumb, like an idiot.
I think Riverman. See, Riverman. I think Riverman likes that version, but don't quote me on that. But I wanted Riverman on this commentary, and he couldn't make it. But it would have been more interesting last year because we were always really divisive about this movie. He didn't really like it, and I've always loved it. And I know that's kind of the fan base in general. But out of nowhere this year, he's like, I grew an appreciation for it. So I don't know if it'd be as fun having him on.
It's funny though because like it works whenever you think that he was working with Michael for years, and then Michael he wasn't getting through to him, so he's like, this guy, he's just evil. But in the fucking TV cut, they added a scene where he's at like a court hearing and he's trying to like, it's basically, it takes place 6 months right after he killed his parents. So it just kind of makes it look like you decided in 6 months that this motherfucker was unreachable. Mm-hmm. You're a bad doctor.
Do they show the actor that plays young Michael?
I think so. I think he's leaving and he looks in the window.
Because I can't quite remember.
And it's similar to the scene in this movie where he's kind of just looking out the window.
What kind of blows me away is Riverman doesn't like this movie, but he loved Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one, which I do not like Halloween 2, Rob Zombie.
I thought you never seen that one.
What? Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
Oh.
What are you talking about? I always talk about me and Riverman argue about it all the time when we talk about Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Yeah. I've seen it a couple of times, and to me it's just a fucking fluff piece, man. It's just excessive violence for the sake of excessive violence. I know he tries to throw in that white horse fucking thing with his mom, like as some like undertone, some like thing, some theme. Maybe he's trying to be artistic there, but it doesn't really fly by me.
Do you remember how the
look at this blood, dude? First of all, this blood is so fucking red.
Yeah, it's like
okay. So I get sorry,
blood.
Yeah, it looks like paint. But okay, so it had to have been this kid who played Michael in the version you're talking about too.
I think it wasn't the same kid, but that's kind of what they're modeling it to look like.
What about the kid that's in this movie? You don't think it was that kid? They just have another kid playing Michael.
Maybe. I barely remember it, so I'd have to watch it again.
I'm saying if they filmed those scenes, I'm sure they use the same fucking kid that's in this cut. I don't know. Oh man, we're gonna see the titties.
They're nice.
This is one of my first experiences with like a tit shot. And what's this bath for? What is this industrial fucking tub for?
Why is that in the hospital? Maybe like for people with blood clots. Maybe.
But like, why does it look like a medieval torture device? If that's the case, why does it look like in Freddy's boiler room?
Yeah, why would it be able to get that hot? Like no one would want it that hot.
It makes no sense. And
a total health hazard.
Like, just why does it look like this too? I don't know. Is it even meant to be for this?
Who knows?
Does it have some other purpose? Yeah, these are the worst fucking employees ever, man.
Oh yeah.
Like how are they getting away with this? The whole movie they're acting like this hospital is like abandoned, but literally a hospital never closes, and there will be somebody walking down this hallway, looking in the window, be like, "What the fuck, tits?"
Yeah, it seems like they're in like the basement where no one goes or something.
But like they just don't even care, man. Aren't they supposed to be on shift?
Mm-hmm. They're like, people are dying. Who gives a fuck?
They're like, no, they're like just like us, and they're like, man, there ain't nobody in this hospital. Let's take advantage. It's empty. There's nobody in it. It's like Lori's the only person in the hospital. Just that
incapacitated bitch with the wig on.
Lori's the only person in this hospital. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? Would you have liked it better if they? I mean, it kind of adds to the vibe of the movie being so barren like this, because it makes it more like a slasher. You know, isolated and someone's chasing you. But would you have liked it if there was like some old ass people like just in their beds? I don't know, just getting killed.
I don't know. Yeah.
It would be weird. The only way the hospital thing works is because it's empty, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It's probably creepier if you feel helpless, like there's no one there to help.
Yeah, this guy's like a dime store Robert De Niro here.
He always reminds me of the guy from Friday the 13th Part 4 also. Like, I always thought they were the same character pretty much.
This guy's in something else very iconic, I want to say. And I'm going to look it up right now because it's driving me crazy. I know he's in something.
I was going to ask you remember like the theatrical ending of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2?
What's that?
You remember the theatrical ending of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2?
Dude, it's rough. I don't know. I mean, I saw it, but tell me.
I remember people were thinking like, was Michael never there? Was it all in Lori's head? Was she the one killing people?
Oh, was she was crazy?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, man. It's just a bad movie.
I remember a lot of people were thinking that, but I was like, no. I mean, like, Loomis looks right at Michael and says something to him. I guess they just didn't notice it. And Loomis was a piece of shit in that movie.
He's a real piece of shit in that movie, doing the book and stuff, and he's like acting like he's a superstar. He's exploitation all the way.
I never thought I'd see fucking Weird Al Yankovic in a movie, in a Halloween movie.
Excuse me?
I never thought I'd see Weird Al Yankovic in a Halloween movie.
I'm confused.
He was in part 2.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was on TV with them and Chris Hardwick.
Oh, you're right, man.
And he had that line where he's like, Mike Myers, are we talking about the guy from fucking Austin Powers movies?
That's fucking lame, man. Like I said, I haven't seen that movie since like the year it came out.
What is she, like when she licked his thumb right there? She's like, "Holy shit! Have you been sticking your thumb in your ass?"
His hand would be fucking dirty. You think Michael Myers washes his hands?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is we know he has to take shits and stuff. Wouldn't that be a surreal experience if we got to see like?
In the first movie, he killed a dog with his bare hands and ate it.
Yeah, I mean, he would be fucking stanky. But what's funny is, you ever seen Shaun of the Dead? And have you ever seen?
She looks like she got a bukkake and then just let it dry on her face.
She looks like Jim Carrey. Silence of the Lambs.
I'm gonna have to have the thumbnail's gonna have to be a chick getting a bukkake now.
No,
there's no way we would get away with that.
No, absolutely not.
We should talk about some of the fucking too hot for TV ones I came up with, like the original Liar Liar one.
What? Yeah, go for it. That's all you, man.
Yeah, I basically just took a picture of that chick from like a naked photo shoot and put her in the elevator. It was basically the same picture it is now, but the chick was naked.
Because she was on Emmanuel in Space. She did softcore porn.
And he's like, we can't do that. And I'm like, what if I censor it? And he's like,
I think it's still too much. You put little bars over the nipples and the vagina. I'm like, dude, I still think this is too much.
And the original Halloween 6 one was just a picture of Michael just staring into the camera, and it said, when you nuttin', but she's still sucking. And he's like, we can't do that. See, look, Michael's a big fucking Danzig fan.
Yeah, it's fun. But what's funny, though, is I fucking laugh my ass off at that one, though. Like when she's nutting, you still suck. Whatever. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
But it did result in us making one with Fred Durst standing next to Michael.
And that one's almost like a Where's Waldo. Like, you have to look closely. Like, is that fucking Fred Durst? And you look closely, and it's interesting looking. So that one works as well. Yeah, Sam Hain. I actually like that Sam Hain record. It sounds shitty, like the quality of it. You can't find it on Spotify or anything like that. I think it's out of print too. Like, you can't even.
It's the same band that became Danzig. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
their first album is completely different. It sounds more like the Misfits, though.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. It'd be kind of cool to have like a high quality version of it. I think they did a show a couple years ago as Sam Hain.
I think so, yeah.
They did a show, so I guess the closest you could get would be like a recording of that concert with Danzig's aged ass vocals.
I think it sounds fine.
Oh, it's fucking rough, dude.
That's fine with me.
Sounds like ass.
I never understood when a record sounds like it's recorded live. It just sounds more real.
No, it just sounds like it's recorded in a kid's basement. It's fucking. There's just so much going on. I never understood that, how like bands in the 80s, they would like intentionally sound shitty because that was the way the other band sounded, especially like thrash metal. Black metal and thrash metal. It's like we have to have the vocals sounding like shit, like you're in some echo chamber.
What the fuck? Guitars had to be like recorded through like a little 10-watt practice amp.
Yeah, it's like that was the thing. And then I remember Slayer. It's like Slayer put out Hell Awaits, which Hell Awaits might be a contender. It would be a contender for, I think, their best album had the production not suffered, because the music sounds great. The music is like amazing, but on Tom Araya's vocals, they put this fucking nasty fucking reverb effect on there. It's just over the top. And it was nasty. Just because, yeah, it was nasty. It was the thing to do. Like, that's what metal bands did, and it fucking ruins it. And then when Rick Rubin came in and they did Raining Blood, that's what he ditched. And they've even said, like, what was the best thing Rick Rubin ever contributed to your sound? And Tom Araya's like telling us to ditch the reverb. I'm like, I could have told you that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it sounds amazing. Like, why do you have to sound like that? Metallica did it on Ride Lightning. Their entire album, everything has like reverb on it. Like the guitars, everything kind of has like this weird reverby thing.
They recorded it in a jail cell.
She's kind of hot too. Come on. So
yeah, she gets the fucking thing to the temple.
I know.
Which would be a terrible way to die.
Yeah, it'd be, I don't know, it'd be like a little pinch. Would that even kill you right away? Just like a little needle piece piercing your brain?
I don't know.
I have no idea either.
Maybe it wouldn't even do anything since it's so little. Maybe it wouldn't even hit anything.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many nerves are in the brain and how sensitive it is, or if you could like put in, yeah. This is cool. Oh, this classic cliche of a scene. Like, clearly the guy's dead when he's not answering you and he looks stiff.
And they always do that. They always make that mistake where he's just sitting there with his neck erect. Like, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Nobody does do that.
It would be hanging down.
His neck
hanging
is
back.
So hard, like a cock.
Look at that. His head still stays up. Yeah, that makes no sense, man. His head would be fucking hanging back. I always thought that was gross to look at. She looks like Demi Lovato.
Interesting that they didn't put a music cue there.
I love that shot though, man. When he just kind of like fades in,
just like the original.
How did they pull that shot off? I wonder.
They had like a little dimmer like light, and they just slowly turned it on. That's how they did it in the first one.
It's so perfect. It works in his favor that he's able to do that. Michael Myers, he knows exactly where to step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, what hospital has all the lights turned off like this?
Did you ever see the TV cut of this?
You fucking already said this. Are we in the Twilight Zone?
Did I?
Yeah, and you're like talking about Michael Myers in the courtroom.
No, I meant that was the TV cut of the original. I'm talking about the TV cut of this one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this one before.
No, so that's why you thought, like, why wouldn't they use the same kid?
Exactly.
No, it was
that's
like
why.
Years before.
Okay, I was like, are we in the fucking Twilight Zone? Like we just talked about this.
Yeah,
okay.
The TV cut of this, they like rearranged every scene for some reason. They recut the whole movie.
Watch, in 15 minutes he's going to ask me that question again like it never happened. That's what I was saying. Well, I answered you when you said it the first time. I said, oh yeah, they included on the Scream Factory version. There is no Halloween 1 Scream Factory version, so you didn't correct me there. Obviously, I wasn't on the same page.
I got the box set, so yeah. Gotcha. It has all of them, so I forgot. I love Halloween. Can it be Halloween again?
It doesn't last. I wish Halloween lasted 3 months. Like the time of the,
It really should.
Well, and I wish, you get a month of Halloween season, but I wish a holiday like Halloween was like, and heck, even Christmas, but a month like Halloween should last a whole week, kind of like other holidays like New Year's and stuff in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
In other countries, the New Year and shit like that, they celebrate like all week on some of this stuff. I mean, that'd be fucking killer if we had Halloween for a week. Can you imagine if you were a kid and you got to trick or treat 5 to 7 days?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's asking a lot of the people. It's a lot of candy, but I guess adults kind of do that. They kind of have Halloween parties the whole week, like leading up to the actual holiday, I guess. So whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's as long as it's Halloween in your hearts, it doesn't matter anyway.
In your heart.
The heart.
The heart.
The heart.
The heart. That's the only way.
You sound like the motherfucker from Temple of Doom. Now you know the medical rock. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
But I can guess.
The native at the
from
end.
The accent.
Now you know the medical rock.
That reminded me of that. Remember that King of the Hill where they're like, they meet their old friends that like beat them a long time ago at a game, and they're still like fucking happy about it and bring it up every time they see them. And like the Indian dude, he pulls off his shoe and they put his foot in like Dale's face or somebody. He's like, spell defeat.
Now we've been over this a million times. King of the Hill, that was kind of your thing.
I said King of the Hill.
Oh, King of the Hill. Okay, maybe you did, and I heard Keenan and Kel. I'm like, fuck, man, you and Keenan and Kel again.
Smell defeat. I do that. Like, I do that to my dog. Like, if she's laying by my feet, I put my foot in her face, go, smell defeat.
I'm still waiting on more news about that revival, man.
We need it.
I hope it happens and it's just not going to get brushed under the rug. Like, forget it. Never happened. We live in an era where everything's just getting revived. By the way, Roseanne, that comes out this March.
Really?
We're like less than a month away for that premiering. I'm actually excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's good, man. The only thing that sucks is I don't really want to watch like 1 week at a time. Like, it's going to be so tempting to let it store up. So I like Roseanne. But a lot of those like revivals, they don't really mesh well with the original. Like, I mean, I really wish it was like a companion. Like, I could feel like, okay, when I watch Roseanne, I can watch that like the official season 10 or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
What if it just breaks like any continuity? Like, we had to do that because Dan was dead.
Oh, they already acknowledged it. I mean, like, Dan, they're retconning that bullshit.
Let's make it a dream she had.
Or I hope they do something, but you know they're gonna like break. I hope they just don't do any cheesy breaking the fourth wall shit where they acknowledge it, because they did that on the Fuller House bullshit show. You know, because like it was.
I can't think of any other way to do it.
I know, but like it was. Just ignore it. Just act like it never happened. Don't acknowledge. We all know it. They've talked about it in the news. That's good enough. Like, we don't have to fucking. So on Fuller House, it was a big thing about Michelle, the Olsen twins, not wanting to come back. And they literally had to, on the first episode of Fuller House, they made a joke about her, like, "Oh, where's Michelle?" And they made a joke about her that was kind of a dig. And they all looked at the audience,
yeah,
for an awkward second. And I'm like, that's cringy, because never in Full House did they ever break the fourth wall. So it feels fucking weird.
But also, didn't like the Olsen twins say we didn't even get asked?
I think. I don't know. There might have been a little bit of he said, she said going on there, but I know that at some point the Olsen twins did acknowledge it, and they said, well, at least they commented. I think one of them, I can't tell them apart. One of them has no interest in acting at all. Like, she's like, there wasn't even like an option. Like, no, I'm so done with that life.
You don't need both of them. Just get one of them.
I know, but the other one, who did act for a little longer, she said she hadn't acted in so long that she doesn't think she'd be any good. I'm like, it's fucking Full House, man. They brought back the fucking little twins.
Joey's on that show.
I know, but they brought back Nikki and Alex, and those kids clearly never acted after Full House, but they still brought back the original actors, and they were shit.
The same kids.
Yep.
I don't even remember them in it.
Yeah. They brought them back just for like 1 or 2 episodes.
I was thinking like that would be cool to do like a Mac and Zach, like. I was going to call it Zach Flies Solo, and I was basically going to review like TV seasons, but I was going to do it slowly, like throughout a couple months. I'd watch every episode and then review it.
Do that for our channel, man. Zach Flies Solo. Come up with a cool title. Could. Why not? But
I don't know. I always got like nervous, like I don't know if I could do it by myself.
Well, then maybe I can help you, even though I don't know. We'll see. We'll discuss it. We'll kick around ideas. But regardless, those twins are shitty actors, and they didn't really give them like real plot substance. They just had them pop in.
Would you fuck them though?
No.
Oh.
They look like little live action My Buddy dolls.
Cool. I can't wait for that fucking Child's Play doll to come out.
Oh yeah,
I might actually buy it.
It looks cool, but what do you think the quality is going to be once it comes out? You think it's really like when you have it in your hands?
Hopefully, it's as good as anything else they put out.
Who's making it?
Trick or Treat, I think.
Tots? Well, I mean, like, their shit's kind of hit and miss, isn't it?
I don't know. I've only bought like 2 or 3 things from them.
We'll see. I don't know if I'm crazy about having a fucking Chucky doll on my desk.
I love it. I wanted one since I was a kid.
And would you keep it in your bedroom in the dark?
Yes.
That'd be fucking scary, man. I used to be so scared of we had My Buddy dolls when I was a kid. And man, if I was the maker of the My Buddy dolls, I would have sued fucking Universal for putting out Chucky, because it really cut in their business. Because it was nothing but a massive play.
Technically they would have a case, but yeah.
I mean, they weren't infringing on anything.
They weren't, but they could be like, "Oh, you cut into my money," and they'd have a case probably.
Because it was a clear it was clearly influenced by the My Buddy craze.
He's admitted that it was. Like, he saw the commercial of that and wrote the script.
Yeah, and I didn't even hear that, but I know it is. Yeah, it was all the rage, and it's a brilliant idea. I mean, it tapped into, because the thing is, it's for adults, but come on, kids see horror movies, so it's like, why are you? So it's almost like you're kind of still making them for kids.
They need to make horror movies for kids again. Like, I miss that.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's fucked up, man. Because now, people, when you see a My Buddy doll or anything, everybody thought Chucky, and we fucking had those My Buddy dolls. We had to get rid of them, man. They were so scary. Because Chucky scared me more than any. Chucky worked. Now he's stupid, but I remember watching Chucky when I was 3 and 4, man.
Now he's stupid.
Oh, he's stupid, yeah. But I watched when I was 3 and 4 years old. I saw the first 2 Child's Play movies. Dude, they fucked with me. I had more nightmares about Chucky than anything else, and it scared me so bad. I used to have dreams where I'd wake up in my little bed, and I'd get up to try and go to the bathroom, and then Chucky would grab my ankles, like from when I stepped out of bed and from under the bed.
Yeah, there's a couple like trick or treat things I want to buy. Did you see the new like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 mask too?
No, I didn't.
I want to get the Leatherface 1 and 2 mask.
Are they quality though?
They look good. I mean, I can't hold them through the fucking computer screen.
Mitchell's like the aficionado about masks, man. I mean, like, I don't know. Because wherever he got his Michael Myers masks, they are quality. I mean, I don't know. Maybe his are custom. Maybe that's the difference.
I think they are.
So maybe it's not the same as being mass produced. Because like I have the Tots Halloween 2 mask, and it doesn't really look 100% like the one in the movie. It's still cool.
It's too big.
It's too big, and the hair is fucking too big, and the hair's not really quite the right color. And yeah, but it's still kind of fun to look at. But yeah, it's not the same. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to plop down all the money to get those custom makes, because those are expensive, I imagine.
Yeah, it depends on how much money the doll is. But apparently it's going to come in the box like it does in the movie.
So will you take it out of the box?
I'll probably, but I'll keep the box so I can put it back in.
Will it be able to be stood up though? Or it's going to be like a doll. How are you going to keep it up? Or are you just going to have it laying down on its side? Or you have it sitting down like on your desk or something?
It'll probably set up when it's in the box.
Look at that. He's fucking stronger than shit. One arm.
I don't even know if that's possible. With that
with that
scalpel
tool, with that scalpel, and he wasn't even exerting any force. You didn't see him like bracing and bending his back, lifting her up. He literally just lifted her like he was a crane.
Mm-hmm.
Like as if she was on strings or something, which she probably was.
Probably, yeah. Now, how are you going to catch up to her walking that slow?
I don't know. Because in this one, we're still under the impression that he's a real guy, because they didn't introduce the whole fucking Thorn bullshit, like he's a mystical being.
I never understood like when people were like, you know what? Michael's the only one that's really scary because he's a normal guy. It's like no normal guy gets shot 6 times and stands up.
No, exactly. Well, see, so the second one does kind of start it.
But not only that, a normal guy really isn't more scary than fucking a monster. Technically. I mean, we only think that because we're like, well, monsters aren't real. But if we were in a movie where a monster was real, we would rather have a normal guy coming after.
They say it's more scary because I guess it could really happen.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I agree. But yeah, so they kind of started this whole like weird supernatural thing with Michael in this one. Then, even though they didn't acknowledge it, because the first one, he doesn't do nothing. Happens to him that's supernatural. I mean, I guess he gets stabbed in the eye with the hanger.
He does get up after he's got shot, but you could say maybe he's got a bulletproof vest on. Or what if he got shot in the face?
Or he's high on PCP. And he got stabbed in the eye, and he didn't really make too much of a wince or anything.
He went, "Gah!"
Yeah. But in this one,
or no, he got stabbed in the neck, didn't he?
This one, you see him like actually walk, because in the first one he wasn't gone, right? Or no, was he gone? Did the movie end with him gone?
Yeah, he was gone.
Okay, so, but this one he gets shot in the fucking eyeballs, man.
Yeah, I never does he get shot in the eyeballs or?
No, they trigger the fucking blood capsules.
Yeah, but I always thought maybe it was because Loomis does something.
No, Lori shoots him twice. She has the gun and she shoots him one bullet, and each one goes perfectly in each one of his eyeballs.
See,
and
I always thought that she probably hit him once, and maybe it was somewhere on the face, and then the blood just kind of came out through the eye holes.
I don't think so, because that mask is pristine, and those bullets went perfectly through the eye holes. Those must be some small-ass bullets. They didn't wreck the mask.
See, if that happened, there's no way he'd be fucking alive, then.
You know, he gets shot in the eyes. I can't believe that. You thought he got shot in the cheek or something? It was just blood filling up?
Like, maybe, like, it grazed the side of his face and it just leaked out of the eyes.
You're delusional. Watch it when it happens.
Maybe it was because I always noticed that it didn't look like it was coming out of his eyes as a kid, so I just assumed.
I mean, it looks fake, but it's coming out of his eyes. But, yeah, she's I don't imagine she's somebody that's ever shot a gun in her life, and she hits 2 bullets. Perfect, man.
But he was, like, right on her, so it probably wouldn't be that hard.
It doesn't matter. You would not, first of all, like, no gun's going to have that kind of accuracy like that. It's not like she has a scope.
But it doesn't even matter, because if he got shot in the eyes, there's no way he'd still be alive.
I think
unless they're just really weak bullets that just went through the eyes and stopped. Like, we ain't even going to try to go through his brain.
I think it would have been just as satisfying if they had, like, a Resident Evil style magnum and his head popped, like a zit, like a zombie.
Mm-hmm. And then he's still coming after her.
Yeah, like, I've always wanted to see that. Like, would that really happen? Like a magnum? Would that really blow somebody's head? Like a,
it's pretty powerful.
I know, but like, I don't think like those fucking heads were gone. They were completely severed. I think it
probably depends. You could kill an elephant with one of those, but it probably depends on how close you are to him and everything.
I mean, it would wreck your face, but like, it would not completely sever it at the fucking neck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's almost like those things hit the face and there's a grenade inside. It's like, in Resident Evil.
I remember I listened to an older episode where you asked me, like, does that work? Like, if somebody put their finger in the hole of a gun, would it not shoot? And I went, I don't know. And I remember laughing like, no way. I must not have been paying attention to the question when you asked that.
Wait, so what was the answer?
I'd assume not. I guess I don't really know.
So it wouldn't? You think it wouldn't work?
It wouldn't stop the bullet, I don't think, no.
Oh, that'd be a fun experiment.
No,
that seems like the kind of thing. That seems like the kind of thing the Tide Pod generation would try on YouTube.
Well, people put a gun to their head when they're going to commit suicide, so it's still being blocked, just like a finger.
Oh, that's a good point, but it's not in the actual fucking barrel.
Yeah.
So that's did you watch that video that was? I think it was a year ago with the couple that was trying to obtain YouTube fame.
Yeah, they tried to stop a bullet with a book.
With a thick book or something.
Are they stupid?
Like they didn't try it first. You could literally try and shoot the book against anything else first.
Yeah.
And the fucking guy died, right?
I always wondered what the book was.
The guy died and the girlfriend fucking killed him. And did the girlfriend go to jail? Because it was on tape that they was like voluntary. Did the girl still go to jail?
Yeah, I remember when that story broke, the biggest question I had was, what was the fucking book? And they never said.
But like the reaction of her face when it fucking got him, you know?
Did you see it, the video?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I think I saw it. And it might have been like edited in certain parts. But
why the fuck would you upload it at that point if it killed him?
I don't know. Why do I maybe
survive it first?
Or did I think I saw it then? You're right. Why would somebody upload it? Maybe it's like the Mandela effect.
Maybe she was using her phone and it was live streaming.
Maybe it was something like that. Maybe it was a Facebook Live thing, actually.
Maybe.
Because I know I've seen it. Yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm not total Mandela effect, but yeah, I mean, like, you were that shocked. It's like, come on, man. Like, they were way too confident to be doing a stunt like that. Like, yeah, this is gonna go off without a hitch.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Not the worst. It's not the worst video I've ever seen. Somebody sent me a video one time, and gosh, I'm wondering where it was at. It might have been a Reddit feed. Somebody posted it on Reddit, which is kind of like the wild, wild west of the internet. I think anything goes on. But it was this video where this fucking big, fat, middle-aged guy was sitting on a empty pickle jar.
Oh, yeah, where it breaks in his ass.
Yeah, and it was like fucking sitting on it. It was going up his ass, this big, fat pickle, this big jar, and it was busting and breaking in his ass and kept going all the way down, and blood was coming out.
The way he reacts to it breaking, too, is it made me laugh. Because I remember when I was in the band I was in, when we were recording a song the guy that was recording us showed us that video, and I was laughing at it the whole time.
Oh God, no! I don't want to ever watch that again. You were laughing.
I remember what it was called. It was called One Guy, One Jar. It was like a response to the Two Girls, One Cup title.
Oh my God! What was the sounds he was making?
I just remember thinking, like, it almost seemed like he wasn't even shocked that it happened.
I thought maybe he knew he was gonna have. Did he? You think? Well, that makes sense. If he didn't think the glass was gonna break, then I could see why he would do something. Because why would
he
anybody?
was just doing it because he thought it felt good. I don't think he meant the jar to break. But it's funny because he doesn't really react to the jar breaking. He's just really quiet.
Well, that makes total sense. Because I was wondering why anybody, like, is this guy like trying to kill himself on camera? Because that's pretty dangerous. Does he have a medic on hand? But yeah, I guess that makes sense. If he was just trying to do something perverted and didn't even think about the glass breaking, I could see that making sense.
That's a lot of pressure to put on a glass jar.
Dude, that fucking sucks, dude. Like, what do you think they did? If you
imagine going to the hospital, yeah.
Dude, can you imagine pulling that shit out and you just got broken glass and you're tied ass? Can you imagine just laying there with that fucking shit in your ass and you're fucking calling the emergency to come pick you up?
That would be terrible.
And everything, because you know there are big chunks and shards of glass. And dude, just even waiting, even when waiting for them to arrive, you're in agony. And then waiting for when they're putting you on like the gurney and shit, it would hurt for them lifting you up because these glass in your ass when they're lifting your legs. I mean, and then what do? Obviously, I'd be like, sedate me immediately. And then when they sedate you and you're in the emergency room or you're on the surgery, how are they getting this shit out of your ass without doing more damage?
They're probably going to do some damage, yeah.
There's no way not to do it. They probably had to dilate his asshole big time.
Mm-hmm.
He probably wanted to stay awake for that part. Like, can I stay awake for this part, please?
Like, oh, this is the greatest orgasm I've ever had.
Dude, I would not, all the money in the world, I wouldn't want to be that responder, the person that's like taking care of him.
I would assume he probably just told him because he thought it was funny enough to actually upload it to the internet. So I don't know why he'd be embarrassed to tell him. Like, I was thinking, maybe I would just try to say I ate a glass jar and it's just hurting now that it's coming out of my ass.
Like, yeah, I've got a circus thing going. I'm a sideshow act. And yeah, I ate this. Yeah, I'd try and hide it too. Then why is there little nicks on your thighs and shit? Like coming in the ass, and there's nothing going in the esophagus, like whatever. It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't care, dude. I'd be in such pain. I wouldn't give a shit what anybody thought about me. Like, just get this out. I sat on a fucking jar. I don't care. I got broken shit in my asshole. Please get it out. I'll be embarrassed later, dude, because that'd be the worst pain ever.
Imagine what went through his mind, like when it broke.
I'd have to move, dude. If I healed from that 100%. I'd have to move. I'd have to change my number, go to a different town.
Imagine like shitting.
No, yeah, because I mean, I imagine what do they do? Because if they're cutting your inner anal wall like that, can they really stitch that up? They can't even get in there to stitch anything up, I don't think. And how does it heal? And if you have to take shits, like you would just break, you do damage.
Maybe they just told him to shit through his mouth. I've heard that. I've heard if you go long enough without shitting, it'll come out of your mouth or somewhere.
Bullshit.
That's what I've heard.
That is bullshit.
I don't know, but I've heard that.
Was that a South Park gag?
I think they did like joke about it coming out of their mouth once, but I swear I've heard that somewhere.
Hey, what's funny? Another thing to comment about this movie is why is the fucking doctor killing Michael Myers, opening fire, and why is the cop like not doing anything about it, and why is the cop letting him? The cop let the fucking old doctor blast this motherfucker, no questions asked. You know what I'm saying?
This could be another trick or treater. What if it's Ben Tramer's other friend?
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. But I'm saying, why is the cop not doing his job?
So that the movie exists.
And like I said, why does he have no repercussions? Why does he have no... Take way to take your time. Just shoot his ass.
No.
Pause 5 seconds.
Yeah, why isn't he shooting? He's like, oh, well, he killed the cop. I guess there's no reason to shoot him anymore. Oh, wait, he's still coming after us.
Yeah, it makes no sense. He's taking a lot of bullets at this point. Why is he not shooting him in the fucking face? Shoot him in the face. He's not shooting him in the fucking face.
It is the smallest part of the body. Maybe he's just not good at aiming.
Oh, my God. Laurie does a pretty good job. But
yeah, in the eyes.
I'm just saying, this guy, when the guy hasn't gone down after you shot him 15 times within the movie, first 2 movies, shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Just assume he's wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, because you don't know. He very well could have one. They don't know because they don't know his story. Like, he very well could.
He's got bulletproof padding underneath his mask, though.
But fucking shoot him in the head. He could be pulling Marty McFly, Clint Eastwood. Brilliant.
This went by really fast.
Yeah, it did. So I've always wondered, is Michael Myers, does he have like insane healing abilities like Wolverine? And if that's the case, if bullets don't stop him, so what happens if you take an axe to him and cut off his legs? If you cut off his legs or whatever, is he going to have legs magically 5 seconds later when he comes across the hall? Or is he going to be like,
maybe he could body swap like Jason in Jason Goes to Hell?
I mean,
he does seem to be able to fucking heal quick because like he burns alive in this movie. He still has burns in part 4, but then in part 5 he takes his mask off and he's not burnt.
Does he? So with him having the burns in part 4, that pretty much, and 4 being connected to 5, that pretty much eliminates the possibility that they just retconned this event. Yeah, because they acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's absolute bullshit.
The original opening to part 4 actually started with the ending of this movie.
Look, he's nice, man. He's knocking first.
It was gonna show Loomis being blown back from the explosion.
Yeah. Isn't he hospitable, though? He's really, polite. He's knocking on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that cardboard door. He just pushed through it. Look at that shit. There you go. There's no excuse. Oh, that's your excuse.
I had to wait to make sure he, I don't know. Why did he wait?
He had all the time in the world to check that barrel, by the way. They were hiding in there.
He's acting like the gun's, like, empty, but it's not.
Oh, he was clicking it and nothing was coming out.
Oh, was it? I didn't hear it.
But I'm saying he had all the time in the world when they were hiding in that room to check the barrel to make sure it was ammo. Not get up on his face.
You don't check the barrel.
I mean, it's a chamber.
I've heard, like, in Canada, they make you, like, take classes before you can buy a gun to know how to shoot.
I checked the barrel. I'm looking straight into the barrel.
I heard that, like, most of the people that fail the test fail because whenever they tell them to make sure the gun's loaded, they look down the barrel.
Watch this. Bam. 2 shots. Right out of his fucking eyes, dude. I don't see a hole in that mask. He got shot in the eyes.
Yeah, you can see. How's he alive then?
It's bullshit. Look, he's just covering his eye. Why is he covering his eyes? He couldn't see before. Why is he covering his eyes? I mean, why does that matter? Okay, there we go. Look at him. He knows where she's at. Why is he swinging up? He knew she was about.
She hasn't moved since she did that.
And he can hear her. Why is he swinging? He knows that he's about like 6 feet in front.
So see, the people that say Michael's just a normal guy are full of shit.
He's acting like a zombie. He's not like a normal guy. He's acting like a robot. Look at this. What is this bullshit where he's taking one pace swinging, run and fucking thrash.
I guess it's kind of a creepy image.
Man, they know how to act fast, man. They looked at those tanks. They knew exactly what was in them. They got their science fucking in check. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, right place, right time.
Sometimes, like, those kind of things, they're set to have, like, a thing on the end of the nozzle, too. Like, even if you turn them on, they don't just flow.
Look at this. Like, what is this? What is this bullshit where he's, like, slowly coming at her?
Yeah, it's just a creepy image. It's funny because if you play the Atari Halloween game, he's doing that the whole time he's coming after you. Just stabbing blindly.
He never actually went all the way to the corner where she was. It's so stupid. He just kind of would like go until he was like 3 feet in front of her and turn back.
Maybe he's retarded.
He probably is.
See, if I was making this movie, I would have been too tempted to have him say something really like fucked up there, like "I love you, Michael."
This is so stupid. Like, there's no way Loomis would have survived this.
Yeah, that's why they did it in the 4th movie. They were gonna have like a shot where
he blows out.
He blows out of like a hallway or something that we didn't know was there.
And why did they not do that? I watched the documentary on it. Why did they not do it? Was it a money thing or?
I think they just didn't have time to shoot it. Look how padded he looks.
Look, he looks like a fucking snowman. I know he looks like an Eskimo.
Look at his boots. Look how big they are.
These fire suits always crack me up, man.
Yeah. The best is on Freddy because Freddy like wasn't wearing a mask and shit. He was really skinny, so as soon as he got really fucking bulky, it was very obvious.
So what do they say about Loomis here? If he survived, do you think they would have said, okay, we got Loomis in care?
He probably originally died.
I know, and they just retconned. Why would they even bring him back? I mean, I don't know. I want to see what he says.
There was a slightly different version of the ending too that's on the TV cut.
So I'd have to like do the math, but he says, what's the count? He said 10 so far. So I bet you if we did the math, that would include Loomis, right?
Yeah.
As far as when this movie was made.
So yeah, there he is.
What?
Again.
Oh, there he is, Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
This looks like the fucking Mist, dude. Look how cool this misty look is. You think it's real mist, or is this somehow
fog
emulated?
Who knows?
Fog
yeah.
machine. It looks awesome.
It might be fake because if they really shot during the fog, they'd probably be worried that you wouldn't be able to see anything in the camera.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's got to be fake in the background. Why is Dana Carvey, why didn't he change his clothes? It's the next morning.
They've probably been out all night because it looks like he's working for, like, the TV station, like a camera guy or something.
Interesting. Yeah, I never knew Dana Carvey was in this, man. How did I never knew.
Yeah, it's in the trivia.
Well,
And they talked about it on the Halloween 25 Years of Terror documentary.
okay. And I'm not sure if I watched that. Or did I? What is that on?
I think Anchor Bay put it out. It was a documentary.
Is it a separate thing, or is it on the anniversary?
It was a separate thing.
So it's not on the Halloween anniversary they did, the digibook that came out a few years ago?
They could have put it on there as an extra.
I'm wondering if it is, because I would have thought I would have saw that.
Apparently Dana Carvey doesn't claim this as his first movie. He says something, whatever came after this. But I can see why. Because he doesn't have a speaking role in it.
There it is, assistant Dana Carvey.
Okay, yeah.
Man in Pajamas, Howard Culver, assistant Dana Carvey. I never fucking knew that, dude. That's crazy. How have I never noticed that?
Wayne.
I'm having a great time.
Not.
So, okay, so Tony Moran played him, age 23. I'm confused. What? Did Tony Moran play him again? And
No, it was during the archival footage from the first movie.
okay, because Tony Moran, he just played him for like one scene in the
Just that
original movie.
one shot, that unmasking scene, yeah.
That's it. And that guy milks the con circuit. You saying the original Michael Myers. And,
it's funny that they even put his name because they kind of deleted the shot where we get a good look at his face in this one during the recap.
Oh yeah.
They kind of cut away from it quicker.
So why did they do that? Why did Tony Moran have to play his face? I don't understand that.
They wanted a young guy, and the guy playing Michael already was
older.
An older dude.
Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Tony Moran is Aaron Moran's brother. Joni loves Chachi.
Yeah. I never watched that show.
No, neither do I, but Happy Days I watched a lot. I don't know. So, what do you consider? Do you think he has equal weight, or no? Do you think he's just like an extra that got lucky? Here, get this one scene.
Much. It's funny how he kind of uses what he does at conventions. He'll make printouts of pictures of Michael that aren't him, and he'll Photoshop his face on them.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's really grasping for $1, you know?
Yeah, just get a screenshot of your real scene. Like, don't lie. Just be like, yeah, I played him for that one.
I mean, isn't that interesting to sit there and like make any kind of money off one fucking scene you did? Like, he could have just been called. He could have been working on the set. Like, hey, get over here. You want to fucking be in the scene real quick?
I think that is what happened. He was just working on something, and they called him for one day.
I mean, it's just like, we just need you. Your face is fine. Come here.
Yeah.
And now he's pretty much just going to these I'm not saying he makes a lot of money. I went to a convention where he was at it, and I mean, he was a nice guy, you know.
It's kind of like the Warrington Gillette and Steve Dash who played Jason in part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Warrington Gillette played him for the one scene where he comes through the window.
At the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there was some sort of beef, though. I think if you look online with the Tony Moran thing, I think he's one of these things. I think there's like a little bit of a squabble as far as like him claiming too much, credit or whatever. I
know there is one with Dash and Warrington Gillette. I never heard it for Moran.
I wonder if he was all pissed why didn't I get a call for the new Halloween?
Am I going to come back to play the unmasking scene?
Now it makes sense if there was one, just to have it stay. They're all fucking old now. Doesn't matter. Jamie Lee Curtis is fucking old.
They're going to have to burn his face up, though. I guess they're not going with this.
They're not going to acknowledge.
Which is weird.
That is really fucking weird. I don't really like it.
Because it's the same night of the original.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is part 2 and the whole story arc it created, it's so ingrained in everybody's like fucking DNA, pop culture, like that Laurie is his sister. It's so hard to like imagine that's not the case,
Mm-hmm.
And it's
otherwise, why the fuck is he still coming after her? Like, if they just disregard that, he just really wants to get this one victim that got away. So he's chasing her years later.
It's going to be hard to suspend disbelief and be like, okay, she's not his sister. She's not his sister. It's a ballsy move, but we'll see. I've said it a million times before. I don't think they can't do any more damage. They might as well do what they're doing. I mean, they can't hurt it anymore. So it is what it is.
What if it comes out that, oh no, that shit all happened. It was the thorn. They erased her memory.
Oh my God. If they come back with that bullshit, it's
bring
just
the
like,
thorn back.
It's just like Curse of Chucky, where they kind of like act like they're retconning it. It's a reboot. And at the very end, they bring back Tiffany. Like, fuck, it isn't. And they have Thorn at the end.
I remember being really confused at the end of Curse of Chucky. I was like, is this a fucking prequel to Bride of Chucky?
Yeah. It was because it was the same thing where she like looked like the same set with a cop.
It looked like the same exact cop too.
She's wearing the fucking same shit. Yeah, it was really confusing, man, because I liked the idea that it was a reboot and it was like a retconning, and as I liked it. But yeah, that fucked. Because they made it seem like it was a sequel to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which I dug, and they kind of fucked it up. And I get it. The new Halloween movie, they're trying to add a little bit of legitimacy by having Nick Castle come back. I mean, that's fine. I don't think it really fucking matters. I just think it's just to gain legitimacy, like I said, with the hype train.
He's the director of Dennis the Menace. You be nice.
Yeah. But whatever. We'll see how it is. God knows. I don't know. Do you think Jamie Lee Curtis is going to get killed in it? Probably.
I don't know.
She tired? Is she going to kiss him again? Go and tell him to go to hell? See you in hell?
I'm going to predict that she won't get killed in it. Maybe they'll do another thing where she kills him, or we think she does.
But do you think he'll be definitively killed off? Because if it's a direct sequel to the first one, they're going to make him mortal. Because I think that's what they were kind of going for. They said, they want to strip away all that bullshit, and they wanted to be like this crazy motherfucker serial killer, like he's a real guy. And if that's the case, if they're going to go all in with that, then I think they're going to kill him. They'll definitively find a way to kill him.
Which basically means they'll just be remaking H2O again.
They're going to have to do a really good job, though, to like just convincingly retcon all the fucking history and mythos behind Michael Myers to really have us believe that, okay, he's a real guy. Jamie's not his sister. And when he dies at the end, we have to really believe, okay, well, they fucking killed him, and just ignore the fact.
They probably won't even try. They'll be like, oh, that shit didn't happen. I don't give a fuck if you believe it or not. You guys watched 3 different people play fucking Spider-Man in 1 year, or seemingly 1 year.
It's a good point. We can kind of like suspend disbelief for that. But anyway, let us know what you guys think, what you think of this commentary, what you think of the new Halloween coming out, what you think of this movie. I like it a lot. I think it's great. I've watched this movie more than the first one, to be honest with you. I think it's the first one I ever saw too. It's my earliest childhood horror movie memory. And
we should mention that like Josh James told he was going through some of the older episodes and he realized that the oldest episodes of BTM don't fucking work anymore.
Okay, yeah, let us know. Tell everybody about that.
Basically, it turns out like last year the place we published the podcast through had some kind of, I don't know, what was it, like system failure or something?
They said they had a big crash and they lost a whole bunch of shit. And they didn't bother to tell us, by the way. They didn't tell anybody. It's like, whoops.
They might have posted it on the thing, but maybe we didn't notice. Who knows? But yeah, luckily, I just happened to have, like, because I was a fan of the show years before, I just happened to have all of it still saved. Not all of it, because there's a couple interviews I didn't have, but luckily we might be able to salvage those through Facebook or
YouTube.
It
depends. So
all the numbered episodes are back. Some of the Walking Dead aren't there anymore, but those are on YouTube.
Those are on YouTube. And the only interviews that we don't have on YouTube that I guess we would have lost were some of the old podcast interviews, like Leanne Curtis.
Curtis. Her first interview's on there, but the second one isn't on there anymore.
We fucking interviewed her twice?
Yeah, there's 2 of them on there.
I don't even remember what the fuck was talked about. I don't remember this. And then Leslie Dean, that would be gone too.
That one, is that not on the YouTube?
No, we didn't put any of those classic podcasts on YouTube.
Fuck me.
Yeah. So the Leslie Dean, the Leanne Curtis, all that stuff was...
The Soska Sisters was re-uploaded to YouTube, so I was able to find that one. So
that's okay. I've got that on YouTube. I had Riverman get that up a couple of years ago because it just never got up there, and we put it up there. Well, whatever.
Basically, anybody that discovered us early, like not that long ago, if you ever went back within the last year and tried to listen to the older episodes and couldn't, now you can.
Okay, so they're just getting plugged back in where they are. Awesome.
We definitely lost an episode of Mac and Zach for good, though, which sucks.
Which one, man?
The one where we talked about Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Well, I guess we'll just have to redo that, won't we? Redo it.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's okay. Well, if you guys are on YouTube, like and subscribe and share the videos. And like I said, support the channel. Leave comments. I try to be very active in the comments. So if you guys comment, I'm usually keeping up with that, and I'll respond and things like that.
I'm not active in the comments at all.
That's okay. I mean, at least one of us is. I'm totally cool with it. I kind of speak on behalf of all of us in the comments. But on the note of that, we're also on iTunes, Stitcher, and all that stuff. I want to get on Spotify. We need to look on how to do that, see if it's possible. If any of you guys listen to the podcast on Spotify, I know a lot more people are doing that. And but you can subscribe to just this channel on iTunes and Stitcher and whatnot. The Behind the Mask podcast and Mac and Zach and all that stuff, or you can just subscribe to the Revival House feed, and it'll be all of the Revival House shows in under one feed, which is cool. And I think Zach is every Friday.
Every Friday we had an idea to do like a flashback Friday kind of thing, where for the Revival House feed we get older episodes that are only on the BTM because it was before we made the Revival House feed. And kind of put them on there like a best of.
Yeah, rock on. So that's it. And
it's called Revival Classics.
Revival Classics. I'm trying to think. Maybe I should read a couple of comments. I know we're kind of going long here. Let me read.
Go for it, playa.
No, I'll just read one. We're going long here. We have Mr. Immortals. He commented that he gave us some suggestions. He said he's honestly not really into horror movies. He's not really into horror movies. He's like, but I do. He said he does like the Pet Cemeteries, which that may be how he probably jumped on with our Pet Cemeteries. He likes Scream. He likes Valentine. He likes Saw. He likes Skeleton Key. Sounds like those like a
Valentine. 90s. I just sent you.
I know you
that.
did.
You forgot that movie existed.
I know. I totally did. Yeah, Zach. If you're listening, Mr. Immortals, you might not be if you don't like horror movies. You might not listen to this, but. He fucking on Valentine's Day. I'm like, how many movies could we really do on Valentine's Day? There's not that many. And he sends me fucking Valentine. And
My Bloody Valentine too.
Yeah, I mentioned that one. Let me see. I think let's see. He gave us some recommendations, and I'll try and find those real quick. He thought, he gave me a shit ton of recommendations because I asked him what he was into. And he says, well, he likes Stephen King movies. He recommended Misery, Shawshank Redemption, The Dead Zone, Thinner, Christine, which we've talked about doing Thinner. We've maybe brought up Misery before, but we've talked about doing Thinner. I think that'd be a fun one.
You've talked about Thinner. I would put any of the other movies on the list before Thinner.
It's not a great movie, but I think it's a movie I could do a commentary on. because
I could do one for Mesri. Christine.
Thinner feels like a Tales from the Crypt episode to me, doesn't it?
I guess so. Yeah.
The whole movie plays off like a Tales from the Crypt segment.
I think it was straight to TV.
It's not. It feels like a Tales from the Crypt thing. That's the way it always felt to me. And he said westerns too, which westerns will be fun. He throws out some of the obvious ones: Tombstone, Young Guns, The Quick and the Dead. I love Young Guns 1 and 2, man. I think those would be fun ass commentaries.
Back to the Future 3.
Yeah, it's a western. I love Tombstone too, but Young Guns will be really fun. That'd be kind of neat. Comedies, he gave us Subjection. He listed a whole bunch of them. What about Bob? Weekend at Bernie's, Airheads. Airheads be fucking legit.
I want to do Airheads. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that in a fucking heartbeat. So take note. You ought to look at this comment, Zach, and take note, and maybe like put some of these on the list. Uncle Buck. We've talked about Uncle Buck.
Mm-hmm.
The Great Outdoors. That's a good one. Breakfast Club. Teen Wolf. We've talked about a million times. I think we almost did it a million times and just didn't quite get to it. The Burbs. I think that's come up. Slapshot. The Mighty Ducks. We've talked about the Mighty Ducks a million times. We need to have a companion piece to Heavyweights. We need to get Mighty Ducks up there eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Fubar, Groundhog Day, Grumpy Old Men. We just talked about Grumpy Old Men. Revenge of the Nerds. I know Riverman would fucking love that one. Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Love that movie. The Dream Team. Black Knight. Dead and Dazed. Dazed and Confused. Sorry.
Black Knight. Is that the
Martin Lawrence?
Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
I'm surprised anybody remembers that movie.
It's ridiculous. I remember. I remember when The Dark Knight came out. I had this buddy that kept accidentally calling it The Black Knight. I'm like, that's fucking Martin Lawrence. The Black Knight. Because it does sound like The Black Knight sounds like a Wayans Brothers spoof off The Dark Knight, like after it came out. Like Black Knight. It does. It sounds like what they would title that fucking movie.
They should make fucking Martin Lawrence the next Batman.
Well, he was almost Robin. Oh, not Martin Lawrence. I'm sorry. That was fucking
other Wayans.
Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
Office Space, Major League, Napoleon Dynamite, National Lampoon's Vacations. I think the first Vacation's one of the funniest movies of all time. And he also suggests Rocky movie. Dude, you don't even have to suggest Rocky movies. I've been wanting to do Rocky forever. I love Rocky. But there's a shit ton of movies in here. Interview the Vampire. Fucking Mad City. I haven't thought about that movie in a long time. That's fucking Travolta, right?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's Travolta, I think. Super, Total Recall, of course. We've talked about that a million times. American History X, we've talked about that one quite a bit.
Did you ever watch Super? That's a good one.
Yeah, Rainn Wilson's in it. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I heard it was good. But there's a lot of shit in here so that I would like to do. The one that really kind of sticks out, he actually says The Wrestler, which would be good. I love The Wrestler. But the one I have to disagree with here, he puts one on the end that I don't know if we'd ever do. He puts The Bodyguard.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's like a love story. It's where that fucking song came from. Her version of And I Will Always Love You.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's whatever. Anyway, sorry, that was a big spew thing. But he took the time to give us all his recommendations. He literally wrote like 5 paragraphs. So least I could do is kind of go over them. And we'll definitely check some of those out and put them on the list. But anyway, that's all we got. Make sure to leave feedback and tune in next time. Zach, got anything else? Bye-bye, puppets. Have a good one.